All right, guys. A couple of you wanted to see how I'm gonna do this. I gotta take this sucker out and put a brand new one in. This lasted me a few years, but it finally took a shit on me. And we gotta make sure to keep this kennel room nice and cool. So I guess I'll just take you through what I'm gonna do to get this done. But I gotta cut it out, chip it out, break it, boop, 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 done. Show you guys what we're gonna do there. Wow, just realized I never pressed record, which sucks because I got some sick content of me fucking. So I basically took this grinder here and I need to cut out where I filled in with stucco. Okay, I did a little stucco patch after I got this in there. And basically I just, what you missed was that. And then what you also missed was me bitching about like having to maybe potentially take these off, which is, these are just holding this up, these little braces. And I was like, don't be lazy, just take them off and do it the right way. And I was like, well, it's not about being lazy, it's about, doing it smarter, not harder. You guys know what I'm saying? So anyway, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna chip this all out and I'm gonna see if I can slide this out and fucking kind of just continue to figure this thing out as I go. I've only done this once and it was so long ago. It's like, how did I do this? Well, I'm gonna relearn how I did this. So anyway, so I'm then now, I just take this little flathead and this hammer. And what I'm gonna do is try to just chip out this stucco. It's just a patch job, so it should come out with some relative ease. Or maybe not with ease, but I know you can't see it, but it looks like it's already nice and compromised. I need to just get in here and fold and all kinds of shit. But anyway, all right, I'll keep you guys up to date on how this is going. I got to remove all this and then I'll let you know how we go. Can't get this to turn off with my gloves. Let me just nose this. That was harder than it should have been. What did I do wrong? Oh, might have been nice to remove some of this sheetrock. But actually, no, it's better that I didn't. That was, and this is wedged underneath. All right, so now I gotta take this sucker and throw it in the trash bin. But first, it's a Toshiba. I'll tell you a little bit about the new one. It's a Toshiba, and it's a little smaller than this one. So if you could take a look at the way the framing is in my wall here, I kind of did this. I reframed it out. It used to have a beam here, but I basically did a little custom right here. I had to do a little customizing, so I had to compromise a little bit of the structure just to fit this in, and it wasn't going to be enough to really affect anything significantly. So I was able to take this little 2x4 out that was running up and down this way to give it enough space, and I added in this blocker. This is a little addition. As you can see, it's an addition, otherwise it would continue down. But I added that little framing in so that I could put the damn thing in there and it would stay. And of course I added the little braces here just to, I didn't necessarily need these, but it brought more comfort to me, more stability. So I added those on top of it. So with the new one here, this is enough to cool down a 250 square foot room. And this is not even that much. This is just a 2-car garage. So something this size is about 240 bucks. Just by itself will take care of this room. But of course, I like to keep shit chilly up in this bitch. So I got another air conditioner, a floor unit on the opposite side of the room with another commercial fan. You see that fan there? Puts out a high power frequency and it likes to move the cool air around. So to make sure this sucker stays nice and chilly. This size here is 12 and a half by 20. So 12 and a half by 20 and we're gonna chuck that in there, and I'm gonna have to do a little bit of customizing and filler, because as I said, this one's slightly smaller than the previous one, which is the optimal thing, if anything. Obviously optimal would be the exact same unit, but this is like 10 years old and they don't sell the same size anymore. So now we got to go to a little bit of a smaller one that's going to do just as good of a job. So better to be a little too small than too big, because obviously if it was bigger than this, I would have to restructure the framing in the wall, and that's just a fuck ton more work that I don't really feel like doing. So we chose the smaller one. Stay tuned. Let's get this sucker in there. So you can see how much fucking bigger the other one was. See all this space? So now I'm gonna have to wrap my brain around what I'm gonna do to really sufficiently fill that in. It's gonna take a little bit of thinking. Don't exactly know what I'm gonna do specifically, but that's exactly right where I like it to sit. And yeah, I'm gonna have to get back to you guys, because that's quite the space to fill in. So yeah, I might, you know what? I might need, dude, I might need a 2x4, and then that'll do a lot of it. And then I could just kind of fill in the rest with fucking insulation. You know, I want to insulate around it so no heat's coming in. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll go from there. Stay tuned. All right, just a little backstory on this and why this isn't even sheetrocked. I do have another Home Depot trip in order, but because I have I'm gonna tell you why I have all this off there, dude. My last one started to leak when it got too hot. The machine was working too hard and it freezed up the whole radiator bullshit. And so it started leaking behind. And then, you know, I was like, all right, well, if it's gonna keep doing that, I might as well just go ahead and make sure to keep this off so that I don't risk getting any mold in here, because I'll be damned, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, after I get all this dialed in with this brand new piece, I'm gonna be able to come back and insulate this portion of the garage, which is only gonna help with fucking insulation and making sure it stays cooler in here. Put some more insulation, and then I could just go get me I'll probably need a full sheet of, this looks like 1/4 inch sheetrock. I'll probably cut myself a nice clean line, you know, just make one big square and then notch in the fucking unit so I can just, and then we'll have this looking beautiful. But anyway, what's next? It's just sitting here right now because I'm kind of taking a look at what I need to do. And what I need to do next is I basically need to frame this in better. I have plenty of space to do a little bit more custom framing. And that's going to involve, let me take you right on over to what we're doing next. I'm gonna get my tape measure and I'm gonna measure out the 2x4s to fit in those spaces over there, so we have a little bit of a tighter fit, which means I'll have less to actually fill in after the fact with insulation and things like this. A cleaner job, more sufficient and efficient job. I'm gonna take my drill here after I get them cut to size. I'm gonna pre-drill the holes, so it's a lot easier to take these screws here, and we're not gonna risk compromising the wood by splitting it. Little trick there, you just, you pre-drill, then you take your other drill, which is around here somewhere. Yeah, it's over there somewhere. And then goes in easy, dial it in. So yeah, I gotta do a little bit of fabrication real quick, and then I'll show you the final result from this little session. Stay tuned. All right, got some custom framing in. Now this sucker should fit in there nice and whoop. Let's check it out. Yeah. I had to rip down this 2x with a freaking skill saw. Don't try that at home, kids, I'm gonna tell you. Look at that. Fucking money. Now I'm just gonna fill that in with a little bit of insulation. Might even put a little sealant. I don't know. I think this is gonna be fine. Sheetrock over the top of it. Dialed. All right, so this is the exterior. Now, obviously, we have some repairs to do, seeing as I had to sort of custom install this smaller unit. You can see all the additional framing I put in so that it fit more sufficiently. I got some pink insulation in the gaps there. I have about a full inch, maybe some change from the start of the exterior stucco to the framing. And when I come back and re-stucco this, I'm not gonna wanna use this much stucco. So what I'm gonna wanna do is I'm gonna wanna come in here with maybe like a 1/4 inch. I'm thinking like a 1/4 inch piece of OSB. Give it a nice little L cut, nice perfect fit. And this ventilation here is gonna cause a little bit of an issue when it comes time to put the stucco on, because I don't want the stucco to fall in here. So I'm gonna tape this off so that the wet stucco doesn't fall in there. And then after it dries out and sets, I could pull the tape, and that way it'll be hard and it won't fall in the little, I don't want it to compromise anything inside the system here. So that's the game plan. I gotta go get some OSB, do some things. Chicken wire on top. I need to staple some chicken wire on top of the OSB to give the stucco something to grab onto. And I'll show you guys that when it comes time, but it's like 10. And I'm still sneezing up sheetrock, so. Thank you, baby. Appreciate it. I'm just out here getting my man on. And I'll show you guys the final product. I turned it on a minute ago and it is absolutely ice cold. I am so happy about this. All right, got all the blue tape done. It's pretty crazy how many tools and shit you need just to do one little tiny job. But we got them all out here, and we're gonna get I didn't get the OSB board because it was too expensive. All I needed was a little filler wood, and I needed to be at this width. So we're gonna take that piece of wood and we're gonna use it to fill in here, because it's too deep of a pocket and I don't wanna have to use too much of this stucco patch. So we're gonna fill it in a little bit, and then that'll require us to use less stucco patch. You feel me? So we're gonna do that first. After that, I've got to cut some of this chicken wire to size and nail it to that to give the stucco patch something to hold on to a little bit better, you know? So that's what we're gonna do, and I'll show you guys how it looks right afterwards. All right, kind of hard to do this shit and record at the same time, but I just think this part's cool. Oh shit. Okay. So that's in there like swimwear. Let's get this. Cool. Now that's in there. Now I gotta put the wire. All right. Now, again, I gotta put this on here so it gives the stucco something to grab onto. Do you know what I'm talking about? All right, stucco's in. I know it's not too much to look at now. But after I match the paint and get this sucker painted, it's like nothing would have ever happened. You wouldn't even notice all this. So that's that. Now the next work of order, because the previous air conditioner started leaking on the interior. I don't know if I had mentioned this, but it was leaking, so I couldn't keep the wall closed. I had to keep it open in case it leaked again, because mold, right? So for this whole entire time, in the last couple of years, the air conditioner was working, it was just leaking, you know, so I kept on with it. Finally it died, and now that we've got this brand new one in here, I'm gonna be able to close this up. So I'm gonna install the R15, and after I do that, I'm gonna make some measurements on this big sheetrock here. Hopefully I got enough. I think I'm gonna have enough to fill all the rest of this in, which is the last little puzzle piece. And hopefully this additional insulation helps keep the coolant even better, because this has been sort of absent this entire time. So after that, I'll make some custom cuts here. We've got this all dialed in. We'll put it around. We'll tape and bed it. Got the tape, got the mud, and then I'll show you after the fact. All right, it's about as good as it's gonna get. Got it all stuccoed in. You can see the fresh paint. That's gonna set up a little more and blend into the existing paint, but you know, shit. Better than a poke in the eye with a blunt stick, right? All right, show you a little progress on the inside. Got it all sheetrocked and taped and bedded, and I'm gonna come back and hit it with some more fucking glue. Yeah, what? I'm like paste. It's not paste. tape and bedding. It's called tape and bedding. So mud, God bless me, mud. I'm gonna come back and mud it and sand it so you can get rid of these joints. Obviously I had to do some customization on these cuts. So look, dude, I'm not a professional sheetrocker. This is my second time doing this. But yeah, I'll be able to paint it all white, and you know, the rest will be history. So that's it, things are working great. Just gonna sand it, make it look nice, but that's the final product, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you got something out of it. And hope you guys have a nice, cool summer. I know we will.